Alright guys, what's going on? Today is December 20th and we are going to spend about an hour and a half talking about what happened in 2023 in immigration field and about our forecasts for 2024. What's cooking, guys? Tell me what's going on, who is here. Let me know which country you're from, which city, which village. Let me know the geography of who is going to be attending today's webinar. And guys, today is going to be the last webinar in this year. Okay? The next one, I don't think is going to happen earlier than February. Alright? So you must take the full advantage of this webinar and get the most value out of it. And trust me, I'm gonna do everything possible to get that done, but I want your involvement. I want you to be here, to be listening and be very attentive. All right, that's very important because we're not gonna be able to communicate for a long time, all right? Because I'm gonna have the vacation finally. I'm going on a cruise for a week with my family, so I'm gonna be out in the space. And by the way, let me know what are you guys doing for the New Year's, because it's a couple of days until the Catholic Christmas, and the New Year's is right here around the corner. So let me know where you're from and what are your plans for the New Year's. Let's see what's happening with your lives. All right, so I'm not gonna warm you up a lot because I think this webinar is on fire at all. So there is no warming. This is just straight going to the to what was happening in 2023. I have a lot of things to share with you guys and all the successes for the clients and the approvals that we got. I'm gonna give you lots of statistics and I'm gonna tell you what happened in my company, what landmarks we achieved, so you guys could build that trust towards me personally and my corporation. Okay, because I think without trust it's very hard to do anything together. All right, and I think trust is number one thing. So I'm going to share with you everything that happened, what I think is very important, and we're going to talk about past and the future. Okay, and of course there's gonna be a bunch of presents today, and I built up a new guide for you guys. I'll talk more about it later, but I got you a lot of surprises, Okay, let's see what's going on. Let's see. Shahzad Habib Anjum. Hi there. Here's Shazam from Lahore, Pakistan, but currently doing business in UAE. Very good, Shahzad, I'm very happy to see you, and we do have clients from Pakistan, we do have clients from UAE, and this is very exciting for me to see the people from all over the world. Pepe from Macedonia, from Northern Macedonia. Pepe, you're very welcome. I'm glad to see you too. Let's see what's cooking. Almin, hi Almin, and come from Bosnia and Herzegovina, currently looking to open an LLC in Wyoming, USA, and perhaps move there as well. Very good, Almin, you're at the right place and the right spot, because we're going to be talking about the visas available for LLCs and corporations and doing business in the US. So welcome to the webinar. Hope you're going to have a great time. Let's see, Georgie is from Bulgaria. Very good. We do have clients from Bulgaria. Moreover, we just filed the case from Bulgaria for, if I'm not mistaken, for E2 visa. And by the way, we got the interview scheduled already. So a very fast moving case. So this is good. We don't have anybody from Bosnia yet, but I mean, maybe you're gonna be the first one. Who knows? And Georgia says, I'm a filmmaker, I need an O1 visa. Definitely, Georgia, you need a O1B visa. So we're going to be talking about that too. And guys, I'm going to spend much more time, a lot more time today discussing the 2023 and 2024. So because I want to make sure that you have a bigger picture, okay? And we're going to talk about visas, absolutely, sure. We're going to discuss the criteria. Not gonna go like very deep as we usually do on such webinars, but enough for you to understand what's needed. But more importantly is that you will see like the bigger picture of what's going on with your case in the format of 2024, because I do believe you guys here because you wanna file your case in 2024, and I think it's very much possible for talent visas, for national interest waiver visas, for the business visas, and we're gonna talk about that also, which visas are better, which visas you should look at, and what are the options you'll have in 2024. And Almin says, yes, quite possible, Stanislav, quite possible. Good. I like your motivation, guys. So let's start with the overview of immigration trends in 2023. And guys, here I'm excited. I'm excited about 2024 because the forecast I'm gonna give you, I do believe they're gonna happen, just like the forecasts that I was making for 2023. If not all, but overwhelming majority of them did happen. And you guys know me. I'm never trying to. I don't like the populistic stuff, like, you know, just blah blah, saying things, just entertain you. I always try to base my opinions and my forecast on data, on information, what we have at hands. And the more I work in this field, and I've been in this field for over 10 years now, and the company is over 8 years that I'm heading. So every year we get more and more information and data to work from. So our forecasts are more precise each year. So let's look back. Shahzad, yes, EB2 and AW is one of the visas we're going to be discussing today, because you guys know my specialization is talent visas, national interest, and business and investment visas, right? So we're going to cover all of them. So you have a picture, all the options available to you. Okay, usually I break down these webinars by category, like, okay, today we're going to talk about talents, but let's do a deep dive. Or today we're going to be talking about business immigration, but let's have a deep dive. Today we're going to touch on each one of them, so you understand, but no deep diving, okay? But enough to be familiar and understand. So what happened in 2023? Well, first of all, the backlog for EB2 NIW category. All right, and that was foreseeable. In the beginning of the year, I said that the backlog is gonna grow and gonna grow significantly, but it's gonna stagnate at some point, and then it's gonna start getting back up. Okay, and that's exactly what happened. You remember 2023, there was like the leaps in the backlog back in the past. You guys watched the movie Back in the Future, right? So the backlog was back in the past. It was jumping back in time, and at the peak of the backlog for EB2 and IW, it was a year and 5 months. Okay, and just recently, it leaped back to 1 year wait time after the approval, and I do believe that in 2024 we're gonna shrink that backlog to, I don't think it's gonna go less than 6 months, but I think it's very possible that we get to 6 months. Okay, so I think 2024 is going to be good to start preparing your case for EB2 and IW, and also EB1A, because EB1 is almost current every month of the visa bulletin. Okay, Okay, that's number one. Number two, I was forecasting that a lot of people who wanted to file for E2 visas and L1 business visas, okay, E2 and L1 are the business investment visas, and I was forecasting that a lot of people will switch from these two visas to O1 in the business category. And guys, I cannot count on the fingers of my of my hands and my toes how many clients I convinced to file O1 visa instead of L1 and E2, and all of them who followed my advice got approvals. Okay, for example, just two recent cases for O1. A businessman from Russia. His business was revolving around the filming the. By the way, Georgia, you'll be curious, but he's from on the business side. You more on the actual art stuff. So the client was a business was filming the large sport events. Okay. So he had like people, cameras, and lights, and all his wires, all this craziness, equipment, and he would be hired by sport clubs, by some events to film whatever is going on, okay, on a stadium or on a big field, whatever that is. So he had a good company, and he wanted to open up an affiliated company in the US and do the L1 visa. And I told him, look, and again, my reasoning behind that was that because 2023 looks like a very unstable year for the economy for many countries, and especially Russia. You guys know that this craziness with the war in Ukraine is just terrifying for me. So that and all the sanctions and just the economic crisis. So I told him, look, if you file for L1, and if something happens with your Russian company, then your L1 is out of the picture. That's it. You're out. Okay? That's a lot of risks. Let's do O1. And I built him a strategy. He followed that strategy and he got an approval. All right? Just recent, last week. Last week he got it. And I called him and I was like, hey, you say it worked. He's like, oh, Stanislav. He was very happy. And the other guy, he's doing the, he's, what's that word in English? In a private sector, in a development, when you build a house, some of the houses have big windows, right? Like huge, like panoramic windows, let's call them. So he was in the business to install those panoramic windows, and he was working with a Spanish company as a distributor. And also he had a bunch of people working in the company. He's like, I want to do L1 visa. And I told him the same thing. Look, we can probably get you L1, no problem. But because you have certain limits with this visa and you still have to keep your business going in Russia, then hey, you might have some problems. So let's do the O1. And he agreed, and there you go. 6 months later, he has the O1 approved on his own company as an employer, and everything is great. Okay, so that was my second forecast for 2023. My third forecast was that EB1A would be one of the most visas in demand, and that also played out because among all the visas that were filed for 2023, EB1 took about 44%. Guys, 44% of visas that were filed were EB1As, and we got the overwhelming majority of them approved. More than this year statistic is higher than the prior years and general statistics, because the general statistic is 90% plus. This year alone, probably 92, 93%. And for you guys to understand, for this industry, this is almost impossible. Because the general approval rate for this type of visas, and it's official statistics, you can go to the Department of State and find all the statistics, about 55 to 60%. Okay, so overall 55-60. For this year particularly, we had about 92-93 approval rate for those visas. So that speaks volumes. All right, That speaks volumes that if you guys work with my corporation, you have probably the best chance in the industry, because I don't know other attorney who's doing that great. I mean, nobody's sharing. You guys know I'm very transparent. I'm sharing my cases. I'm talking about approvals. I'm talking about denials. I'm giving you everything. I don't hold anything back. So I don't know if anybody is doing that. So that I hope that builds a trust in you with my company. All right, that's the only reason I'm doing this, so you guys could trust us, my expertise and expertise of my team, because the power behind my corporation is the team. Okay, that's the most important. Okay, so those were my main forecasts. I did a bunch of like smaller ones and everything worked out. STEM category was in the biggest demand as always. However, unfortunately, and STEM category historically was 100% approval rate. Okay, so if I take all STEM cases and STEM science, technology, engineering, and mathematics for the whole history of my corporation, we had 0 denials. Okay, so if you are IT person, blockchain, cryptocurrency specialist, architect, designer, engineer, a doctor, that still means that the chances of your approval is just through the roof. Okay, through the roof. Unfortunately, we got 1 denial for the IT specialist for EB1A, and that kind of spoiled my 100% rate statistics for the STEM. But if you take hundreds and hundreds of cases that I filed in this category, I mean, 1 denial is pretty much doesn't do anything. So unfortunately it happened. I disagree with it. I wanted the client to refile the case, as we usually do in these circumstances. The client denied, so I can do nothing about it. But hey, STEM is gonna continue, guys. STEM is going to continue in 2024, and it's going to accelerate. Okay, so let's finish with 2023, because I have a bunch of things to say about 2024. First of all, my company grew to 120 people. Guys, this is crazy. I never thought, if you told me 2 years ago, Stanislav, you're gonna grow to 120 people in the company with 12 departments in the company, and the number of clients and the petitions we file, I would probably not believe you. I'll be like, there's no way, because in the beginning of this year, we had about 55-60 people working in the company. Okay, for less than a year, we doubled. Okay, and this is a huge growth. I can't even believe it still happened. It's just amazing. And it's amazing not because we're giving the employment to so many people, and our employees, they allocated across the world. Okay, we're an international company. We have people from all over the world working in the company. But most importantly, that every single one of them is working for one goal and for one purpose, and that is to get you approved. Okay, that's all we want. That's where we put all our power and motivation and energy and resources. And we had probably five new departments in the company created within 2023 to help you guys to achieve your goals. Okay, to make your dreams happen. If you dream to come to the US. What else happened? We started a bunch of projects. I think the most powerful, guys, and no one ever done this in the past. No one is doing it right now, and no one, I don't think, will ever do this in the future, because just it takes so much resources. The project that's called NEO. Okay, NEO. What is NEO? NEO is a independent assessment of your case, independent expert opinion of your case in the form of letter. And you can get those letters, up to 4 letters, within our company. How did we do that? because you guys are split in categories, okay? IT, engineers, sport, business, whatever. We have those categories and we find a match for you within the company. And because you guys are talented, you work on your cases, you're talented, you're businessmen, you're entrepreneurs, whatever, you have projects. So you exchange independent expert letters. You don't know each other. So the weight of those letters is just huge. We started the program as a pilot in April. We fully implemented it in July, and now it's working perfectly. And once we implemented the program within the company, the approval rate jumped significantly and RFE rate decreased. Okay, so I think it is just I can't emphasize enough how big this program is for you personally and for the company. Okay, because we can do a lot of great things with this program, and we're developing it with more. We have a Neo Plus. That's for those who already got the petition approved. And if you don't have enough recommendation or expert letters, you can purchase for very good price the expert letter from someone who's already got approved for the petition. Okay, so guys, you see, we do everything for you so you're successful with your petitions. Also, I think I'm not gonna go a lot about the changes in the company because they're just huge. There's a lot of changes, but I think two top ones. So the Neo program and the exclusive business club. Guys, if you get an approval for your case with my company, you become a member of exclusive private business club, where only the customers, the clients of the corporation can become the residents, the members. And we started that project in in June actually. It's been 6 months, and the results that it brought for the residents, for people who already immigrated or who are in the process of immigration, is just amazing. People started doing business with each other, the projects, the brainstorm, just working together, helping each other to integrate in the society. I think the success of this business club it just can't be underrated. It's just so big, and I'm happy to help you not only to get the approval, but then use the platform of the business club for you to have a jump start in the US. Okay, it's amazing. We're growing fast, and the club is growing fast too, and the commerce within the club is already above $100,000. Okay, that means that the services that people bought from each other within this club is above $100,000. I personally used the people in the club to do my things, like the cruise I was telling you about. I purchased with a lady who got an approval for O1A in the field of cruises. Like, she's a talented like cruise travel seller. Okay, so when I needed a cruise, who's the first person I'm gonna go? Of course, to my client, who's a talented, who's the best in this. Okay, I had a problem with my lower back. It's a long-standing problem, and I went to the fitness coach who's EB1A approval, whose case I know, and he's in a rehabilitation of such things. And yes, I paid him a lot of money. Yes, it was expensive, but 1 month in of training with him, I'm back to normal. I have no problem with my back. Okay, so and people just doing business with each other, it's amazing. It's amazing. So I'm so happy it's working, because I can bring even more value to you. Okay, so guys, 2023 was just amazing, but we know that 2024 is gonna be even better. So let's look what you guys have to say. Pepe, I have a case in USCIS I-130 from this year, and I came to interview when that's going to happen, the interview, by your experience. Pepe, I'm not I'm not experienced with I-130s, because that's I do believe it's a family immigration. My expertise is in the talents, business, and investment. So that's what I do. But I need to know. Okay, tell me who's the relative. because it depends if it's your mom, if it's your how old are you. I need to know if it's your sister. Forget about it. I mean, forget about it. I mean, Pepe. I'm sorry to tell you, but the wait for brothers and sisters in this category is probably around 15, 16 years, if I'm not mistaken. It's very long. It's a very long wait. I filed I-130 for my sister back in the day. I think it was 2014, 2015, and I think she has like another 8 years to wait. Okay, so I wouldn't put too much emphasis on this. You need to start looking for the opportunities that are more reliable and faster, because even the wait in the visa bulletin for 15 years does not guarantee it's going to happen in 15 years. It may have, because it may just stagnate, it may stay the same for years, and instead of 15 it could be easily 20. So if I were you, I would look at talent visas and business and investment visas, because that's where you control the situation. Okay, I would do that. Dania, hi Stan, looking great as always. Thank you, thank you. Wanted to know if NIW I-140 is approved. Can we apply O1 or E2 after approval to quickly come and start working in the US? As there is a wait for 485, I have B1, B2. Yes, Dania. I'm definitely. I cannot advise you or tell you, hey, just come on your B1, B2 and then change your status. You can use your tourist visa to come here as a tourist, and then you may have a change in the situation, and you want to file O1 or E2 and just start your business. And I like to do it a little bit different because you have already I-140 approved, so it's good that you have the priority date. But when I work with my clients and I know that the time is of the essence, right? Meaning that a client wants to come here as fast as possible. We do two cases at the same time. We do like O1 and EB2 NIW. A client gets O1, comes in to the US, then his EB2 NIW is filed, and that's it. Okay, and you just wait for your priority date on being on O1 working already. Okay, so I think this is the best, but again, in your situation, you still can do this. I don't think it's going to be an issue, especially through the change of status. Okay, so I think it's a good idea. Plus, Dania, a good advice to you. When you look at visa bulletin, and I hope you're working with an attorney. I would think you work with an attorney, because it's very hard to get NIW approved by yourself. Ask your attorney to keep a track of date of filing in the visa bulletin for the purpose of an option to be able to file 485 by the date of filing instead of final action date. Okay? And if whatever I said doesn't make any sense to you, I have videos on this topic on my YouTube channel, difference between final action date and date of filing. You should find them and watch them. Okay, so let's see. Daniel Campara. Mr. Stanislav, Daniel is here. I'm making connection. Daniel, please connect to our party today, because look, guys, we have the party today, alright? I don't care about nothing. We're gonna party today. And I'm ready. I don't know if you're ready, but Daniel is ready and I'm ready too, so let's go. Put the give me fires, give me some fire in the comment section, because we're gonna party for another hour for show, and let's do this. Okay, so so if I go to US with a travel visa, open my LLC and bank account for the business there as the owner, I would have way bigger chances to get an immigration visa or immigrant visa. I don't know, because the fact of opening up a company and a business account for that company does not give you any particular immigrant visa per se. Okay? It could play a role in certain visas like AB2 NIW, O1, L1, E2, maybe B1C, maybe other visas, EB5, but we need more. We need more for that. All right. Listen carefully to the description of the visas that I'm gonna do today, and let's see what we can do for you. Segun, and Daniel says yes, it does. Good. Segun, how long does NIW visa take? I'm planning next year by April, and does it prevent my B2 application? I would first get B1, B2, okay, and then apply for NIW. If you work with my company, Segun, and ask Dania how long did it take her to get NIW approved. If you work with my company, it's 6 months. Okay, 6 months, 5 months we're working on the case on a evidentiary base, and 1 month I draft a memorandum for your case. So 6 months. If you start, let's say you start working today, I'm gonna be filing your case about May, June of 2024. Okay, and like I said, my forecast that the visa bulletin for EB2 category is gonna shrink, so we're gonna have a faster track for final action dates. So by the end of 2024, probably you're gonna get your green card. Okay, of course, it's not exact science. Okay, but I think I'm gonna be pretty close to this forecast. And Sigun says I'm applying from the UK. Good. UK is I think US government is more loyal to Western countries. That's my view, and of course I know that you guys like, oh, the US, the discrimination, they don't do this and that. Yeah. I know. But when it gets when it gets to business, you know, application from UK and application from Mongolia is going to be looked at differently. All right, look, let's take a couple of questions, guys, and we're going to go to the forecast. I think it's very important. Dania, also, can you please explain the timeline? For example, December 2023, I-40 approved. Let's say I get action date by end 2024, given the current 1-year wait. After 45, how much time it takes to actually get the visa stamped and come to the US? Dania, if you're not in the US, and your immigration process is gonna start right now. Basically, you're still gonna get the NVC. You probably already got it, the NVC account number. You can pay the government fee, and I encourage you to do it faster, like start the NVC process, although the final action date is 1-year wait, because there could be other things that matters if you start earlier. I'm not going to explain that in details right now, but start it right now. And it may even happen they schedule your interview before the final action date, but they may issue the visas by the final action date. Okay, so probably if December is your priority date of 2023, I would say that probably by September, October of next year, I would see that you already have your immigrant visas. Okay, because the priority date is gonna shrink, and it's gonna probably go much faster than it goes now, so your interview is going to be scheduled really quick. Daniel says, so many praise for you, Stan, you are just amazing. And guys, Daniel is of course 100% right. Okay, Segun, sorry, lost connection, can you answer my question? Segun, yes, in short, because look, there's a bunch of people here waiting for the new stuff, so file for your tourist visa first, then file for your EB2 and IW. Alright guys, so let's go to the forecast in 2024. What I'm gonna forecast two things, because you know you can be forecasting all kind of BS and unimportant stuff. I wanna put the time in two categories. First, the type of visas that are gonna be the best for 2024. That's number one, and number two, the overall immigration trend for the purpose of coming to the US. And let's start with that. Let's start with overall trend. So let's take a step back, so you guys could understand my point. Um, Overall, 2024 is gonna start heating up with a number of petitions for immigrant and non-immigrant, as compared to 2023. 2023 was relatively slow, okay? Because 2022 and 2021, oh my god, I mean, those 2 years, they were just exploding. Just we were so slammed with work, we were growing fast. 2023 was much slower, and I know why. So you guys would not believe, but the immigration cycle, when everybody's like filing and going, and oh, we're going to the States, and the opposite is like, oh no, I don't want to go because it doesn't look good right now, I don't feel like it. All those cycles, they are rooted in the economy of the US. And you probably never thought of it this way, but let's look at the facts. Why 2021 and 2020 were just like slamming with people coming to the US? Because the US economy was growing like crazy. Bah! The stock market just like exploding, the Bitcoin exploding, gold going up. Everything is going up, economy is going. And why? Because of the COVID and all the money, that all this printed money just flooded the system. So there was a lot of things to do with this money, and people just were having the cheap credit, okay, cheap debt, meaning that you can take the loan or mortgage on the house for very small interest rate, and that's why you have access to cheap money for businesses and for people. So that's why everything was going. And when the economy is good, then that excess of money, where it's going? It's going in the technology and innovation, right? Technology is the first sector to grow when economies go down, and technology innovation is the first one to go down when the things are not good, like right now. Okay, now it's started going back on track. So that's why 2021 and 2022 were like just exploding, because the economy was good. 2023 was a little bit going down. So that's why the people are like, oh my god, I don't have cheap debt, I don't have cheap money to borrow, I can grow my business, I can have excess money to reinvest. So that's why I don't need people here in the US to help me grow my business. Actually, I'm gonna lay off some people, I'm gonna fire people because I don't need that many. Okay, so that was 2023. Now, what's gonna happen in 2024? And guys, this is a done deal, because it's not now the forecast, it's actually what's gonna actually happen. Because the Jerome Powell, and you guys know Jerome Powell, right? That's the guy, the chair of the Federal Reserve, basically of the central bank of the US. He already said about a week ago that in 2024 we are going to cut the interest rate 3 times. Okay, what it means? That means that right now I believe it's 5.25 or 5.75, whatever the base interest rate on the debt. In 2024, it's going to be cut 3 times for 0.25 or for 0.5, so 0.5%. So even if it's 0.25, 3 cuts means, and guys, some math, okay, just trust me. If you can do the math, just trust me. So they're gonna cut almost by 1%. So that means that the businesses and people are going to have a cheaper access to the debt, to the loans, to the credits, to the mortgages. So the businesses are gonna start growing. People are gonna start buying more things for themselves, and real estate and personal property, and the business is gonna start hiring more people, and the excess of money is gonna start flowing back into technology and innovation. Because it makes perfect sense, because the more, if you put money in the technology, why are you doing this? You want people to buy your technology, you want to make money on this. If people don't have money, there's no market for this. But because people will have money, and usually people buy things with the debt, right? They borrow money to buy things. Then that technology is gonna be sold, and people gonna make money, so economy is gonna grow. And plus, guys, that is the presidential year. Did you guys hear the news yesterday? Oh my God! The Colorado Supreme Court ruled that they're gonna disqualify Mr. Trump from the ballot in 2024. That means that, you know, if that's the case, Trump is not gonna even if he runs, he may not win because Colorado is the whole state. You know, you cannot. So this is bad news, right? Bad news for Trump. I think that, of course, definitely they're gonna appeal this decision, and I think the U.S. Supreme Court is gonna reverse. It's gonna reverse. So if you guys are Trump supporters, if you like Trump, good news. I think that's gonna be still good. He's gonna run, and I think he's gonna win. And by the way, guys, if we touch on this topic, do not think that because Republicans may become in power, like if Trump goes back in power as a president, don't think that it's gonna worsen the immigration. Actually, it's gonna make the immigration better, because Republicans are not against the immigration. They are against illegal immigrations. Republicans fully support the legal immigration. That's exactly what we're discussing with you today. All right? So don't be scared if that's the case. So the presidential year, always things going up. The economy is going up. The stock is going up, S&P, everything is going to be good. So there's going to be a demand in a highly qualified specialist in all kind of fields. Okay, and the business is going to do good, and everything's going to be great. So guys, 2024, 2025 are going to be the years to go all in. Okay, go all in and go for the visas that you want, and because the USA are going to need you. Okay, we will need you here to build the economy, to build the country. So 2024 is going to be just amazing, and 2025. So be ready. Now, which visas I think are going to be at the top of this process? And I have the top 3 visas, and I'm gonna go from the third to the first. Okay, so visa number 3 is gonna be EB2 NIW. Okay, we already discussed this, and again, we're gonna talk more about the criteria a little bit later. Now I just want to give you the bigger picture of what's going on. Okay, so EB2 NIW is the third place in my rating for 2024. Why? Because the priority date, the final action date in the visa bulletin is going to go down, most likely. Economy is going to grow, and the US is going to need more highly educated people here in the US to help the economy to grow. And USCIS and the White House are going to continue to encourage the people in the STEM category to file for EB2 NIW. Okay, so I think this is going to be a great visa for 2024. It's gonna you're gonna get the green card much faster as opposed to 2023, and it's much easier to do than, let's say, EB1A. Okay, EB1A. Number two is actually EB1A. Okay, it's actually EB1A. Yes, it's harder to do EB1A than EB2 NIW, but if you do have 2 visas, like today, guys, I had the complex immigration planning with a client from Israel. Okay, and he's an IT person, so he's IT, and he has both EB2 NIW and EB2 and EB1A. Okay, the talent visa and national interest waiver visa. And of course, I told him, look, for 2024, I prioritize your EB1A over EB2 NIW. Okay? For the reasons that I mentioned. First of all, EB1A does not have the wait time. So you don't have to wait for the visa bulletin to come back in, and then your process starts. So once you get an approval, that's it. Your process starts. 9 months, you're going to have the interview in the embassy. Or if you are in the US, you just file your adjustment of status, and probably within a couple of months you already have your green card. Okay, so this is an amazing visa. The second reason why EB1A is on the second place is because it's less subjective than EB2 NIW. All right, and let me tell you guys, recently, and I'm not the only one who sees that, and only an attorney or a company who files at least 5 to 10 EB2 NIW a month. Okay, we file over 10 each month, over 10 EB2 NIW file, above 20 EB1As, and then O1s and other business and investment visas. We file 30 to 50 cases a month, depending on the month. Okay, so a lot of cases. So you can see the trends only when you file certain number of the cases. Okay, like if an attorney filed a couple EB2 NIW, yes, he probably knows how to do this, but he will be no expert for knowing what's the trend right now. So, and I can tell you what's the trend right now with EB2 NIWs. It's so subjective. Okay, sometimes it seems to me that it's so subjective that it depends on the mood of particular immigration officer who is adjudicating your case. Literally. Okay, like sometimes just doesn't, like same case, same facts, same everything, very close. Different immigration officers gonna look different at it. Okay, and of course, number one reason why EB2 NIW is denied is the national importance. Okay, national interest consists of two things: substantial merit and national importance. So, and national importance, it's so subjective because for me, what's national importance for me is not what's national importance for Dania, okay, or for Daniel. So very subjective. And moreover, each criterion, separate criterion for EB2 NIW has a subjective assessment, even the education. Like right now, I have an RFE for EB2 NIW when my client has a bachelor's degree and 5 years experience in the field and everything is good, and evaluation says it's a bachelor's degree. And the immigration officer says, no, I disagree, it's not a bachelor's because of XYZ, and the reasons are stupid. Okay, so it's like, wow. So now even the evaluation like seems doesn't make sense to do, because like the immigration officer can disagree with this. Okay, so we need to make an argument on the like take the classes, and it's just craziness. So it's a lot of work. We still have to do this because we need the result, but it shows how subjective those cases could be. With EB1A, it's also subjective, but only one part. Okay, because first we need to prove 3 criteria out of the 10, then subjective, like are we at the top of the field, and then benefit to the US. So three stages. So only one of them is subjective, and that subjectivity is has much less discretion. Guys, discretion. If you don't know what discretion means, look it up. Okay. In short, discretion means that the flexibility of the power of the immigration officer to make the decision. Okay. So less discretion, less subjective. The more discretion, more subjective. So EB1A has much less discretion, so meaning less subjective assessment of the case. So that's the second reason why it's on the second place. And moreover, and the third one is kind of connected to the second one, because if we have all the criteria that we need, and we need about 6 criteria, and I know 3 is the must, but I like to file with 6 criteria, I mean that case is going to be approved. Okay, with EB2 NIW, you have to satisfy all the criteria, and then you don't really know how the officer is going to look at it. Again, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't file for EB2 NIW, because sometimes you just don't have a choice. Okay, but if you do have a choice, of course, the EB1A is a better option. And now, guys, number 1, visa number 1 for 2024, and let's do the drums. The first visa is O1. All right, O1 is taking the first spot in my rating for 2024, and it's never been on the first place before, and I'm gonna explain why. Probably 4 or 5 reasons. Reason number 1, it's much easier than anything else that we discussed before, than EB2NIW, than EB1A. It's much easier to do. Pretty much anybody can get O1. Let me guys give you an example. It's funny. Last week was very fruitful for O1 visas. I think it was 4 or 5 approvals and 2 EB2NIWs. One of the approvals for O1 was for the car mechanic. Guys, I almost fainted. A car mechanic, okay? It doesn't really matter what exactly you are good at. If you're good at something, you're gonna get approved for O1 visa if you follow my strategy and if you work with my team, okay? Of course, I cannot speak for everybody. I can speak for myself, all right? Our approval rate for O1 is 99%. Okay, for hundreds of O1s that were filed in, for all these years, I can't remember. I think it was 1 denial, maybe 2. You know, I can't even remember. I can't remember the last time we got a denial for O1. It's so long ago. So O1 is much easier. Reason number 1. Number 2, it's fast. Okay, from the start of your case till the day you come to the US on O1, about 8 months is gonna pass. Okay, 8 months. 6 months working on the case, 2 months getting the stamp in your passport. Okay, so it's relatively fast. If you compare it to EB1A, it's like a year and a half. Okay, versus 8 months, so it's twice as fast. Number 3, you can switch from O1 to EB1A and EB2NIW or any other visas, EB2, Perm, Labor Certification, no problem. Okay, any other immigrant visa, you can get married also, find love in the States and get a family reunion, get a green card like that. So it's a good base to start your immigration journey. Number 4, reason number 4, there is no cap. DJ Stanislav in the house. No cap for O1, guys. Like H1B, there's a cap, right? And that's it. Whatever that is, 80,000, 100,000, whatever they decide, the number of employees that need it, and there's a lottery, okay? O1, as many as we get approved, as many people gonna come in, all right? So no cap. Usually by statistic about 17 to 20,000 O1s are being approved, so all of them come to the States and work. And number 5, it's cheaper. Okay, it's just cheaper, guys, and you know I'm very transparent with the prices for the full the complete filing of the case. Okay, the full filing of the petition with my company for O1 is 11,000, and for EB1A and EB2NIW is 13,000. Okay, so it's cheaper, and you have to pay less for the government fee, and you have to spend less time to improving your petition. Okay, so look, those 5 reasons, I mean, come on. And on top of this, the 6th one, I can give you one more. You can become your own employer. Okay, like Dania was asking, like O1, who is going to be her employer? Her own company. All right. So if she does the O1 visa, there we go, guys. O1 is number 1 for 2024, and many of you should actually take that into consideration. And let me tell you, guys. As long as you have, and it's usually the basis to start your O1 visa, the critical role and your and higher salary. Okay, so if your salary higher than other professionals in the field and you work in a good company with a good reputation, you already have almost a slam dunk case for O1. Okay, you have 2 criteria, then you're going to have the press, you're going to have the publications, and maybe like become a judge or like get an award or something. You know, we can build up the strategy around your options. Okay, so O1 is really good. Okay, let's finish with this slide, because I think this slide is the most important for today. Impact of the policy changes on immigration. I think that all the policy changes are going to be towards the STEM category, and you guys heard this word many times today: science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Those people are really in big demand here. So all the policy changes are going to make it better and easier for those of you in those categories to come to the States. Okay, that's in short. Of course, we're expecting more things to happen in 2024, and maybe even new visas coming up. But I think all the good things are going to happen for STEM. Insights on navigating the immigration process. We're going to skip this. We're going to discuss that later. Q&A session with the business. That's at the end. Okay, so let's move on. I already told you guys you're gonna have the bonuses today, the free evaluation of your case, and the new guide. Okay, guys, the new guide. So if you're coming to this webinar for the second or the third time, this guide is absolutely different than everything you had before, and this guide is on how to avoid scammers when seeking immigration legal services. Okay, guys, the scammers in this industry, they're just insane. They'll do everything to grab your money and run. So I prepared a special guide so you avoid the pitfalls. Okay, you'll know how to get that at the end. So let's go. Let's see what you guys have. Let's see what you have to ask me. Let's go through your questions. Okay, Daniel, I hope chance coming were okay. So let me guys translate what Daniel's asking. He's a machine worker, so working like in the construction with the machines. Daniel, you probably need to look at O1 visa and EB2NIW. I don't know your qualifications. I don't know what exactly you do, what kind of machines you're working. But let me tell you, whatever you do, if you're good at it, okay, you can be looking at O1 or EB2NIW, or maybe for other work visas. Almin, I actually wanted to ask the question how Trump's victory will be reflected on this process, but you just answered it. There you go, you guys. I'm reading. Stanislav is doing voodoo on all this kind of crazy stuff. Whatever, guys, I need to do to get you approved. If they want me to dance in the midnight with the full moon with the drums, I'll do it. Okay, I don't care because that's my main goal. So imagine that happen, right? That would be crazy. We need to do like reels on that or something, or even YouTube video. Sigun, I'm applying as a researcher with PhD. All right. What chances is the NIW? Which one do I fall into? Sigun, let me tell you, and everybody else, guys, if you have a PhD, okay, or let's say, and it's not clear, Sigun, if you like, if you already have PhD, or you will be working with people with PhD, or you will get PhD at some time in the future. But let me tell you guys, whatever that case is, if you at some point in your life, if you get PhD, or if you already have a PhD, look, I'm gonna get you approved. Okay? So yeah, Sigun says I've got PhD from the UK. Look, Sigun, I don't know about other attorneys, but if you hire my company and my team, trust me, you'll have 99.9999 chances of approval. All right, trust me on that, because if you have PhD, you have a dissertation, you have the publications, you probably have conferences, you worked already at university or some labs or whatever you did research for, and look, all these are gonna do all the criteria. Okay, maybe a little few things here and there to work on your petition, 6 months you're gonna get approved. And probably I would choose EB1A over EB2NIW, but look, I need to look at your petition and make sure make sure you fill out the free evaluation form at the end of this webinar, okay? Because I want to see your case, and I'll let you know what's going on. At conferences are very good, especially if you spoke at the conferences. I mean, that's amazing. Okay, a PhD is almost a slam dunk case for the green card. You guys, who cares about Stanislav? All right, nobody cares, so we're gonna switch that because we only care about your cases and the results. I already mentioned, and you guys know it, that we are specializing in business investor visas, talent visas, and work visas. We don't take like Pepe had his family case. Pepe, I would never take it because that's not what I'm doing. I'm taking only the cases in these categories, and the overwhelming majority of the cases are from the talent visas, and a big chunk of what we do is the business and investors visas. Okay, Sigun, if you present, look, I'll get you approved. Trust me on that. If you have citations, this is a contribution in the field. Look, that's just, when I get the cases like this, with the citations and publications and conferences, look, I blink my eyes and you're getting approval, all right? So, Sigun, don't worry, I'll give you all the contacts. Your case is important, but everybody else is important too. At the end, I'll give you all the contacts, all the QR codes. You can scan, you can get a free evaluation, and you guys all have to do the free evaluation of your case, because if you have not done anything great in this year, and even if you did, the free evaluation is going to be the powerful end of the year, okay? Because you will know if you have the potential, and if you don't, you will know what you need to do for 2024. So all your resolutions are going to be based on your free evaluation of the case. Okay, I think we passed that. So you guys, I think I already got your attention, guys. A few more cases, guys, a few more fresh cases. O1B visa, and that would be I think, let me remember who was asking that. Our filmmaker. Yes, Georgie, this case is for you. O1B, because you will be filing for O1B visa. We get YouTube bloggers approved for O1B visa, guys. You can call it YouTube blogger, influencer, whatever, they have pretty strong case. They're creating the content for the kids. Okay, a very strong case. I believe they even have EB1A, the green card case, based on the achievements. Why am I putting this case? First of all, it's recent. It's like it's from this week, so that's one of the reasons. But second reason, I think it's important to show you that anyone who's a good professional in the field can get an approval for O1 visa, and maybe even for other visas. Okay, so that's the bottom line. You gotta be good professional. All right, so there we go. People who are famous on YouTube or who put a lot of work and make money can get an O1 and also the green card. And Marta, she's from Russia. If I'm not mistaken, she's from Russia, and Rustam is her husband. And EB2NIW, the engineer from Venezuela. And guys, we have clients from over than 50 countries in the world, and I even can tell you his name because he was leaving the feedback for working with my team on YouTube. His name is Leonardo Rojas, I think. You can, if you go to my YouTube channel and put Leonardo, you'll see him discussing his case a couple of months ago, before we filed his case, and now we got him approved, guys. So wait for his review on YouTube on his approval in a couple of months, and you'll be able to see, okay, the guy who is working with Stanislav and now he's got an approval. Okay, 2 separate videos. This is great news. He was and I'm very happy for him because he basically ran away from Venezuela, because you guys know what's happening in Venezuela. Nothing good is happening there. So he went to Uruguay, and he basically went all in, spent all his money on Stanislav and the case. And thank God. I mean, of course, I'd never take the case that I don't believe in, but still, you know, it's more stress. So he got an approval. So congratulations to Leo. Really good. Okay, so let's start with O1, and we're gonna go straight to the criteria, guys, because we kind of talked about O1 benefits. I mean, look, you already know all the benefits because they're coming from my reasons why O1 is a good visa for 2024. So we're gonna skip all that. You need to know one negative thing for O1 visa, and the negative thing is that the spouse of O1 holder gets O3 status, and O3 status does not give the right to work. Okay, that's the huge drawback on O1, but that's the way it is. All right, and actually, you know what? I yesterday, man, I can't remember who I was talking. I was talking to some attorneys or people close to it, and we were thinking, like, why would H1B and O1 visa would not give the spouse the right to work? And I think this is just great educational guess why it's not the case, because O1 and H1B, they came into existence back in like 60s and 70s, and the Congress back in the day would not think, well, first of all, they probably would not think that women would be a part of these programs, right? And back then the sexism was big, and like a man of the house and this kind of craziness. So that was reason number one, like, okay, the husband gets the visa, so he brings his family, and because a woman, and she's a woman, she is not gonna work, like who works as a woman, right? Back in 60s and 70s, so they wouldn't even think that would be the case. So they're like, okay, nobody needs that. That's reason number one. And reason number two, that back in 60s and 70s, if one person is working in the US, they can support the full family, right? Right now, that's not the case. Okay, 2 members gotta work to support the family. So I think those are the all things that are dragging through. Nowadays no one cares about this, so that's the way it is. So but that's the biggest drawback for O1 and also H1B, because L1 and E2, they gives the rights for the spouse to work. But again, the kids can go to work, and I know for some of you that's not a drawback. You'll be like, okay, that's not a problem. Okay, so let's move to the criteria. So EB1A, I mean, guys, we know all the benefits. That's a green card. If you want to take a picture of this slide and then read it later. So let's speak about the criteria, and again, we're gonna go faster on that. So there are 10 criteria for EB1A and 8 for O1A and 6 for O1B. We're not gonna go deep on O1B today, just because there is no time, but they're very similar to what we're gonna discuss. So I want you to have awards, okay, in a professional competitions, and speaking at the conferences like Segun did, that counts as an award, as an alternative award, but usually is going to the professional competitions and having a winning spot, 1, 2, 3. If it's more, it could be more. What I want to see is a national recognition of this competition. Okay, national recognition. Usually, if there's a press about this competition, that's a good sign. Media, and how many awards? Maybe 1, 2 is good. Okay, and doesn't matter if you got them 5 years ago, 10 years ago. If you're still doing what you do at the time, it doesn't matter, not only for awards but for everything else. Media coverage of you. So when the press is writing article about you or taking the interview, I wanted a large major media in your country. So take top 20, top 30 news outlets, and so one of them could be a good match. Or professional. Okay, what's professional media? That means that only professionals would read. So let's say IT, like IT journal, or for engineers or for doctors. Like I wouldn't read it, like nobody would read it, but only the professionals from that field. So that means it's a professional press. Okay, how many articles about you? 3 to 4 if it's O1 visa, 4 to 5 if it's EB1A. Published articles, and now we're talking about the articles that you write, okay? And like Segun said, like he has a bunch of papers with a lot of citations, so that's what we're talking about, right? Scientific or academic articles. How many of those do I need? For O1, probably 2 to 3. For EB1A, 3 to 4. That's the bottom line. If you have more, like I guess Segun has probably 20, so that's good. That's good news. Recommendation, guys. And here we're talking about the expert opinions and recommendation letters. And recommendations are not the part of the criteria for the talent visas, but they are a big part of the petition. Okay, so, and by the way, for O1B it is a criterion. So O1B is like a weird visa in some respects. So O1B has the one criterion that's specifically reserved for recommendations, like for I think it's Georgie, Georgie filmmaker. Like for you, recommendation is gonna satisfy one full criterion, which is great. For O1A, EB1A, it's important to have. Stanislav, how many recommendations you want? I want about 15. Okay, about 15. 10 to 15 for O1, 15 for EB1A and EB2NW as well. And if you guys participate in NEO program in my company, then up to 4 independent expert opinions. Very, very important and heavy evidence you can get through my company. Okay, and the cost of one letter like that outside of my corporation, because there are vendors here in the States and they do the expert opinion letters for the purpose of the visas, they charge $1,500 for one letter. So 1,500 for one expert opinion letter. In my company, up to 4 letters you guys can get with other clients. You exchange, okay? You get in a letter and you write one in exchange, okay? Up to 4. So the value of just that program itself could be up to $6,000. Who is doing this for you guys? No one. No one is doing this. Only I do. Okay, judging the work of others, and guys, judging is the most expensive, and meaning that it covers a lot of things that could be judging. So the easiest one, if you're an expert on a panel and there's a competition and you judge the work of other professionals, and it doesn't have to be national, it could be whatever. What matters is that you assess the work of other professionals like you. That's the classic way. What are the alternatives? The peer reviewing of the articles of other people is also could be judging. Like Sigurd is probably know what I'm talking about. If you peer reviewed other publications for other people, you already judged other professionals. Also, if you're on the committees and you have to pick and choose, like people, maybe also articles, or maybe the speakers somewhere, if you're on editorial boards and some journals, or you accept the final exams above bachelor's, so master's degree, PhD, or whatever, you're also judging the work of others. If you on a panel, on a conference, judging the speakers, or you're choosing something, or even if you called by the company to assess the work of their employees, who are also professionals, that could be judging, and that could be your own company. Okay, so you guys see the judging is very large criteria. I mean, I can't remember the last time we didn't use the judging, because at some point a good professional in the field, and you guys understand that's the basis of the any petition, assess the work of other professionals in some way. Okay, so judging is always good. If it's a competition, give me 1, 2. If it's like other things, a couple of them would be also great. Contribution to the industry. And guys, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, and I'm sorry, I need to clear my nose. I apologize. Okay, contribution to the and there's a mistake. There's a mistake in this slide. Moderator, please note that, because and that happens all the time, guys, and it's very important, and it's actually good it's happened, because I can show you where the immigration officers are making mistakes in their RFEs. So you see what it says on the slide: contribution to the industry. And guys, this is the wrong wording, because the law says not to the industry, but in the industry. Okay? If there are the native speakers, the English native speakers among you, you guys know immediately how huge the difference is between to the industry and in the industry. If you're not native speaker like I am, but I've been living here for a while, for almost 20 years, I also feel the difference, because to the industry, meaning to the whole industry, right? And that, you like, maybe Nobel Prize doesn't do the contribution to the whole industry, okay? I mean, that's just too huge. But in the industry, it could be within, so some part of the industry, okay, that lowers the evidentiary base burden, okay? Sometimes in RFEs, the immigration officer says, hey, you didn't show the contribution to the industry. And I'll be like, hey, remember, guys, this from Wolves of Wall Street with Leonardo DiCaprio, one of my favorite movies. Remember, he's doing this. That's me when I see this in RFE. Like, no, not to the industry, in the industry. So very important distinction. So what we need to see in the contribution, two things. Innovation, okay, so it's something new, and significance. It's significant in the industry, like people use it or people copy this, or it makes some changes to in the industry, or you make money on this, or what could that be? What could it be? Anything, guys, anything. It could be your some method or methodology, maybe some technique that you use in the industry. Maybe it could be a patent that you use. Maybe the dissertation, like Segun wrote a dissertation, that's definitely a contribution in industry. Like PhD dissertation is in itself contribution in the industry, okay? If you have a publication with a lot of citations, how many is a lot? 30 to 100 is the way to start, and you're like, what? 30 to 100 citations? What a range. Yes. Why? Because sometimes 30 citations is enough, and sometimes 100 is not enough. Okay? It's all very individual depending on what's going on. So your courses, if you have educational courses, could be a contribution in the industry. A book could be contribution in the industry. If you speak at the conferences and you always speak about something new, some new trends, that collectively could be contribution in the industry. Open source code could be contribution in industry. A library, contribution in the industry. Application, like mobile application, a website also could be a contribution in the industry if they innovative and they are significant. Okay. I like to have this criterion in the case because we can build the case around it. Associations, very rare criterion that I use because it's very hard to satisfy. you have to be a member of a professional association that accepts only for outstanding achievements, and it says in the charter, in the bylaws. So the bylaws or charter has to say we accept for outstanding achievements, or even explain what they accept for. And those people who make the decision within the association, they have to be experts on a national level. Okay, so association is very hard to prove, but sometimes we use it. Commercial success, your income is higher than average for your profession. How much higher? Well, 20 to 30% is a good way to start. If it's twice as much, it's better. And you have to pay the taxes. We gotta show the taxes. And one more is missing here, guys. And I'm using 8 criteria for EB1A on 01 because 2 more for the art. So I usually cut those. So if you're in the art, the showcase, like if your pictures are in a gallery or in a museum, or you have the exhibition, that's number 9. And commercial success in the performing arts, if you perform on a stage, like in a theater, in a movie or something, and it makes money. So that's number 10. One is missing: critical leading role in the company with a distinguished reputation. So anywhere in the past or nowadays, if you work in a company that has a good reputation in the field, like if they what's the good reputation? If they older company, a lot of employees, if there's a press coverage for them, if they have famous clients, if they organize events, if they sponsor the events, if they have awards, that shows that they have the reputation. And if you did something for them, that's going to be critical leading role. Okay, so expert opinion letters, guys, I already mentioned that, and we have NEO. I mean, that's a bomb. That's a fire program. So good, guys. Can't even emphasize enough. So let's look at them. Maybe you guys have questions, and we'll move on. Pepe, I have a lot appreciations, recommendations for my work from U.S. Army from their stay in Kosovo. I was working as an entrepreneur for U.S. Army troops. Well, Pepe, if your talent is in languages, sure, that will work. That's going to be valuable. Okay, let's move on. Okay, it's the same slide. The recommendation letters we discussed. Yeah, so let's drop a few more cases. 01A. From a businessman and businessman misspelled, that should be A. From Cameroon, and you guys know this guy Zuo Bruno, and he also left the review on YouTube. You can watch his case before the approval, right? Now he's gonna give us the review upon his approval, so you can see his face and his case on YouTube. And 01 for 01B also for a marketing specialist from Brazil, also recent approval. That case we got it for a month and a half because there was a very short period of time when the client was here in the US. So we got her 01B in the marketing. Really good case. She had a strong basis. She worked for Facebook for 5 years, so she was pretty good. And we already started working on EB1A for Zuo, Bruno, and for Camila. She's building up the case for that. EB1A, crypto analyst from Ukraine. And guys, I think this was the first case in the industry for crypto analyst, because this is new industry. There's nothing to compare them to. So it was a very hard case because only 5 criteria, and I used a lot of innovations. We used the Telegram channel and Discord communities as associations, and the critical role, like as an organization with a higher reputation. It was very hard. We used YouTube as a press. As a professional press, because like there were YouTubers who only interview like people from the crypto industry. So I built them, I showed them as a professional press. It was also very hard. So we got an RFE, we responded, we got approval. Good case for a crypto analyst, and we got the second one at the end of the year. I think no one is getting those cases approved, and we do. And EB1A for precision shooter. It was a case from 2022. The client from Kazakhstan filed it without expedited processing. I don't like cases without expedited processing because they're long, and I think they have less chances of approval by my statistics. So if you work with me, I would recommend you to do the expedited processing, because you just have a better chance. Maybe 2-3% more, but you know it plays role. So it was interesting because we got an RFE in this case also. And the immigration officer was like, well, I don't see this guy at the top of his field. I don't see how he's talented and this and things like that. And I told him, look, dear immigration officer, my guy beat your guy last year in a competition in the US. Okay? So if you think that my guy who beat your guy, an American, right, in the competition for the precision shooting, and you guys know precision shooting, like 1 kilometer, 800 meters, like bam, like long distance, and like long like rifles. And so I told him, look, if you think when my guy beat your guy in the national in a world whatever competition is not the top of the field, then show me who is the top guy. Bam approval. Okay, I mean, who can go against that? Like, come on. Like, well, so and Americans, they're very proud. I'm American too, and I'm proud to be American. And of course, when American athletes win, and we know that American athletes are one of the best, and when some guy beat my guy, look, like who's the best? Okay, like you have to be objective. Okay, so let's go with EB2NIW. Let's go straight to the criteria, guys. Let's go straight because we have very low on time. So STEM, I think EB2NIW is for STEM. Yes, we have business approvals and sport and culture, but STEM is the way to go. And what are the criteria? Advanced degree, bachelor's plus 5 years of experience, or a master's degree. Or if there is no education, we have to go to the exceptional ability. There are 6 criteria. We need to satisfy at least 3 of them, and then we can use it with instead of degree. And those criteria are on your screen. So license to practice your professional, the highest salary, membership in a professional association, recognition, and there is more. There's education. There is more to this, but the main things for EB2NIW is your proposed project. Okay, proposed project in the US, and well positioned, and national importance. Okay, so 3 things that you have to have: a proposed project that you wanna bring good to the US, and your past experiences, everything you've done in the past supports that you will be able to do this in the future. Okay, that's EB2 in a nutshell. It's kind of easy to understand if you describe it like I do, and of course everything that you have, your education, your past projects, your employment, your associations, if you have press, if you have publications, all that plays a role in a well positioned, meaning that you are able to implement what you promised to implement. And the national interest is basically needs to be supported by objective evidence. Usually it's White House policies or memorandum, or USCIS policies, or some publications, or some expert opinions, or some press, some statistics, some data. So there's a lot of information to work with to find the national interest. To support that you will be able to do this with the company, you need to establish a company in the US and have a good business plan or professional plan. Okay, business plan or professional plan. I think it's a must nowadays to get EB2NW approved. Okay, very important. Unless you like something crazy, you're doing something crazy. Okay, so let's look at the actually the first case is in a business category as opposed to what I said, because STEM is of course a better case for EB2NW, but this is our client Victoria. She is a flower businesswoman. Okay, she built her business back in her country on with flower shops. She opened up a flower shop here. She has one in Los Angeles. She has one in Miami. She has one more opening up in Chicago. And she started doing the franchising. Okay? And she is focusing, specializing in peonies. If you guys know the peonies, those beautiful flowers, they're like round and very thick. And beautiful flower. So she's specializing on that, and based on her franchising and the employment that she's giving to Americans and a good profitability of the business, and she also wanted to start the peonies fields industry in the US. She got an approval. Okay, great case. She already got a green card. Perfect case. And the second one is EB2NW for a talented engineer. This is the client from Israel. He's an IT specialist who implements the new IT decisions for the plants and the manufacturers. So he's optimizing the processes. And let me tell you guys, if you somehow know how to optimize or automate or modernize processes in a manufacturer or plants or factory, whatever that is, this is a very good case for EB2NW. Okay, and this is the proof. The engineer from IT engineer from Israel got an approval for that. Okay, guys. In short, E2 visa, you need to have a proper passport from the country that signed the E2 treaty, and $100,000 investment of clean money. You can get your E2 visa approved, and you can scan the QR code and see which countries are good for E2 visa. So that's in a nutshell. So you need to have a company in the US, a business plan for 5 years, 100K investment, clean money, and you need to spend 60-70% of your investment in your company. Okay, so that's pretty much the criteria. EB5, when you have a large amount of investment, 800,000 for the passive investment. When you give the money to the regional center, you loan the money for 5 to 7 years. You get a green card, then you get your money back, all good. And $1,050,000 for your active investment when you start your own business, and you need to create 10 jobs yourself. Okay, in both ways, passive and active, you have to have clean money, just like E2. And of course, it's a green card, and E2 is a non-immigrant visa. And EB1C, if you have a company outside of the US, and you have at least 15 employees working in your business, and you are controlling that company, and you're a CEO or you're whatever the name of your position is, you can purchase the business in the US or start and scale and get it to the 8 employees in the US and profitability. You can transfer yourself from your foreign company to the US company and get a green card. Okay, that's EB1C, great visa also, very popular this year, because you need to, it's much lower investment than EB5, and you don't have to show your talents and things like that. Excuse me, guys. I'm a little bit sick today, but it's all good. All right, L1 is a younger sister of EB1A. EB1C, I'm sorry. It's the same criteria, but it's not immigrant, and it's a little bit easier to get. And you can get L1 for a startup business. So if you have a company outside of the US with a 15 employees plus, and you're controlling it, and then you open up a startup, there is no employees, no business, nothing, you can get L1 visa for 1 year, and then by 2 years get it up to 7 years and scale it, and then get EB1C. Okay, guys, hour and a half, a little bit over, we're good. Time for the presents. So, Sigun and everybody else, free evaluation of your case. Scan the QR code or make a screenshot and then scan it from a different device. That's how you can get a free evaluation. What's a free evaluation? That's when you fill out the questionnaire on a particular visa, talent visa, national interest, or a business investment. And I look at your answers, and within 2 days, I get back to you and say which visa is good, which criteria you satisfy, which you don't, and if you have a potential. And if you do, I will invite you to the complex immigration planning, okay? That's where I build up the written strategy for your case, and you get it in writing after we finish, and that becomes a strategy when we start working on your case. And I also duplicate the links in the chat, so you guys either scan the code or you can press on links and get it like the list by yourself. So this is the QR code, and there's also a link in the chat to contact my company directly through WhatsApp. So you can either scan it or press on the link or make a screenshot and contact my company. Okay. Now, the guide, guys. Please scan or click on the link in the chat. The new guide on how to avoid scammers when seeking immigration legal services. Very important, because scammers are on the alert right now. They are doing a lot of bad things, so don't lose your money. Work on it with professionals. Okay, let's see if you guys have any questions, and also our social media. I would recommend at least go scan YouTube and follow me on YouTube. More than 10,000. I think we either crossed or close to 10,000 followers. Instagram is really good. Every day we're doing something. And TikTok also a lot of entertaining and the good stuff as well. So those three are the must. And X, the Twitter, and Facebook, if you guys want, also can join us and follow what's going on. So all right, guys, I think we're through with today. I had a lot of fun, guys. Let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed today's webinar. We covered everything. We did the 2023, we did 2024. We went over the visas and everything that's important. So let me know what you guys think. Do the free evaluation. Come to the complex immigration planning and start working on your case in 2024. And good luck to you guys. Happy holidays, happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and all the good to your families, the happiness, the wealth, let all your dreams come true, and all the good for 2024 and approvals for your petition. And remember, guys, your future starts here. Good luck.